Boy, did this stunt backfire on Greta Thunberg. I mean, sailing to Gaza to embarrass Israel has just left this sanctimonious scold, the one with egg on her face. The woman who thought she showed up should be going there to show up Israel's cruelty to Palestinians by trying to break Israel's blockade of Gaza. In fact, has already been pictured being fed herself by Israeli soldiers and smiling as she's been pictured in front of Israeli flags, has been reported as refusing to watch a film, the Hamas massacre of Jews on October 7, so, deliberately blind to the truth. And then after that blizzard of pro-Israel news was popped right onto a plane out of the country. She got just one night in Israeli detention, essentially to get a good sleep, and already it's like, bye-bye, Greta, thanks for dropping in. And that tiny bit of food that she and the other 11 activists on a boat were bringing to Gazans, the Israeli said, don't you worry, we will bring that to Gaza, along with all the other food, truckloads of it we already let in. Really, it could hardly have gone worse for Greta. In fact, the whole stunt exposed her as just an attention junkie, and worse, as a tool of extremists, a useful idiot. Now, both these things were actually clear right from the very start. We saw, for instance, that Thunberg sticks by her principles apparently only while they make good publicity, so it seems now. I mean, 6 years ago, Thunberg was a global warming superstar, wanted to seem so pure that she refused to fly from Europe to New York to give a speech to the United Nations. She instead went by yacht, all sails, zero emissions, and not even a toilet on it to get all that to get rave reviews from the UN about being so against fossil fuels. This time, however, she sailed in a yacht with diesel engines. You can hear them humming in this video shot during the trip to Gaza by another activist on board. And all this while the sails, as you'll see, are furled.
Today marks our 7th day at sea aboard the Madeleine. As you can see, we are still on our way, heading straight toward Gaza, with nothing but wind in our sails and purpose in our hearts.
Wind in our sails, my foot. And look at the company Greta kept there. One of the self-described founders of the group that organised this voyage, this one-boat freedom flotilla, is Zaho Birawi. Now, Birawi wasn't actually on the boat, but is a Palestinian Briton who's been described in Parliament as a person with links to Hamas, which he denies, as someone who's been actually photographed with the then leader of Hamas, Ismail Haniyeh, in the scarf there. Now, he's since been assassinated. But what company Greta keeps? That activist you just saw speaking there with the engines running in the background seems an anti-white racist to me, a German of Turkish background, telling some German woman she had no right to speak about pro-Palestinian radicals in her own country because she's white.
White people, you need to step the back.
And then, as I said before, told you a couple of nights ago, also on the boat was this Brazilian, Tiago Avila, who was such a fan of the now assassinated leader of the Hezbollah terrorist group that he was at the man's funeral, calling the dead Nasrallah a martyred hero and beloved. I mean, the whole thing, this whole stunt was just so embarrassing. And the arrest of this dopey dozen on this boat by Israeli soldiers was such an anticlimax. No violence, little drama.
Guys, oh my God!
Ditch the phone! Ditch the phone! Calm down, everyone. Calm down. Everything's gonna be alright.
And then to top it all off, Donald Trump made fun of Thunberg.
Well, she's a strange person. She's a young, angry person. I don't know if it's real anger. It's hard to believe, actually, but I saw what happened. She's certainly different. Anger management. I think she has to go to an anger management class. That's my primary recommendation for her.
Greta Thunberg has gone from a global warming messiah to a global joke.